Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Stormblood. In the last episode, we proceeded into the Burn, on Yolback, I guess you would probably say, and to try to find out what had happened to Alphino. And we were forced down by a sandstorm where we had to fight through various monsters and some elegant ruins and things, running through that dungeon. Ultimately leading to our discovery of the crashed ship that Alphino was aboard, and the fact that it was attacked by Imperial forces belonging to the Emperor's personal guard. So the trail kind of ended there, so we now need to rely on the Doman Shinobi to continue the investigation, while we proceed on to see what it is that we're going to be doing next. So, we're back here in the Doman Enclave. We need to talk to Hien and see what we're going to be doing next while we wait for any further word about Alphino. Let's go ahead and talk to Hien. Let's see, what's my position that I want to put my camera? There we go. Alright, I had hoped to steal a moment's rest after a little outing, but it would seem duty calls. A foreign emissary arrived in my absence. Not let us keep you then. Actually, I was wondering if you might join me. I cannot think of a guest who could fail to be impressed by the presence of the Scions, at least none I should be happy to receive. Of course, if you think it would be useful. Thank you. Let us return to my manor then. Alright, so back to the Hien-Kan. I was getting a little lost there. I was like, where am I? Alright, there we are. Alright, so let's head on in and see who this guest is.
Lise, what brings you here?
Oh, Alliance business. We have a request for Doma. Well, Hien. But that can wait. They told me you were out searching for Alphino. Did you manage to pick up his trail? Well, if he wasn't at the crash site, he might still have escaped. We have to keep searching.
And we will. Alphino embarked on this journey as an emissary of Doma, and I hold myself responsible for his safe return. I will have our shinobi in the provinces search for him as a matter of urgency. Chin up, Lise. You'll get to admonish your brother for his recklessness yet.
Well, someone has to do it.
I'm sure he's going to be fine. There is one thing I'm not sure about, though. You said it was the Emperor's personal guard that attacked Alphino's airship. But the Popularis would never have been able to arrange the prisoner exchange without Varus's blessing. So why would he sabotage his own mission?
They may not have been acting on Varus's orders. The guard answer not only to him, but to his family, the Crown Prince included.
When Yotsuyu summoned Tsukuyomi, Asahi was quick to proclaim that a Dorman citizen had violated the terms of our agreement, that the negotiations had failed. And it is this version of events that is now being repeated across Garlemald. To hear the tale, one would think the prisoner exchange never took place. Plainly, someone is manipulating matters from the shadows, Most likely Xenos, or whoever it is that wears his face.
Whichever Ascian you mean. We all know the nature of our adversary.
The servants of Chaos are true to their name. Their meddling has cost Dorma a chance at peace. Whoever it was that loosed his personal guard, the Emperor cannot be ignorant of these developments. We must proceed on the assumption that our treaty is indeed in tatters. But come, Lise. You have journeyed far. Let me hear your petition.
Right. So the big news is that Alamigo has agreed to join the Eorzean Alliance. To make it official, and discuss where we all go from here, the leaders of the 5 nations are planning to hold a meeting, and we were hoping you might come too. We've already seen what we can achieve when we work together, and the Alliance hopes to work even more closely in future. They think it's our best hope of keeping the Garleans in check, and I agree.
As do I. By coordinating our efforts in the east and west, we may be able to discourage them from committing their forces to a single front. I accept your invitation. I must, however, ask for time to attend to some pressing matters here. In light of recent events, the risk of Imperial reprisals is greater than ever, and I would not leave Dorma unguarded. Ere I depart, I must shore up her defenses.
Understood. I'll let the Alliance know. We'll wait to hear from you before setting a date. The meeting's to be held at the Royal Palace in Alamigo, incidentally. Do you remember the way?
Well enough. Please assure my hosts that I will not keep them waiting any longer than I have to.
Consider it done. And thank you for agreeing to come. If we all put our heads together, we're sure to find the best way forward. For everyone.
Alright. So is Lise. And an alliance between the Eorzean Alliance and Doma makes sense. Keep the Empire busy on 2 fronts, so they can't commit their forces to a single front and overwhelm either side. Makes sense. But yes, Doma is the more vulnerable of the 2, I would say, since they don't have another large alliance on their own side of the world that could help back them up. So let's see what Hien has in mind. Alright, my advisors and I presently convene to discuss the matter of Doma's defenses. You are welcome to stay, of course. Alright, had you not offered, I would have requested leave to remain. Where the Ascians are concerned, naught may be left to chance. As ever, we would benefit from your experience. I thank you for coming, Lise. Even if it was on official business, I had hoped there might be time to show you the land you helped save, but I will settle for a fleeting visit if needs must. There never does seem to be enough time for anything, does there? But I did get to see a little of the Enclave. You've made excellent progress, I must say, and soon you'll have the chance to see how we're getting on, too. To the meeting, then. Ayame, I was wondering if I might have a word with you before I go, in private. Go on, my friend. I will send for Hakuro and the others in the meantime. Great, I'll wait for you at the docks. Alright, let's go see what Lise wants to talk about. Alright. There she is. Thanks for coming. Knowing you, you've probably guessed what I wanted to talk about. Lise. She's acting as if everything's alright, but it's clear she's barely coping. The Lise I know is overbearing, willful, and reckless, and that's fine. It's how she deals with feeling weak. She has to keep moving, or she's afraid she'll fall apart. A lot like me. But the thing about people like us is that we need someone to keep an eye on us. I had Papalymo, and now I have my friends in the Resistance, and Lise has you in the Scions. Before you start, I'm not saying you're neglecting her. I'm sure you aren't, and I'm sure you won't, but she's a good friend, and when I see her like this, I can't help worrying. So please, make sure you give her all the support she needs, alright? Sure, leave it to me. Thank you, Yame. It goes without saying, but if there's anything I can do, you only need to ask. Well, I best be off. See you in El Amigo. Okay, so Hien, back at the Hien-Kan. All right. So head on in, and I'm guessing we're going to run down of what Hien's plan is for a defense for Doma. Right, there you are, my friends. Everyone is assembled, so let us begin.
If we are to ready ourselves for invasion, we shall need manpower, provisions, and time, all of which are in notably short supply.
Candid as ever, Yugiri, and correct, I concede. Fortunately, I have an idea. 'Tis plain no single nation can stand against the might of the Empire. And it was only with the aid of others that Doma succeeded in winning her freedom. So, I mean to take a leaf out of our Eorzean friends' book and form an alliance of our own. In addition to those with whom we already share an understanding, I would reach out to Hingashi and Suinosato, and further afield to the myriad peoples of Nangsha and Dalmasca. I am under no illusion. Not all will answer the call. Yet disparate though we may be, we are united in our desire for freedom. If our neighbors could be made to see what is at stake, Ascian machinations and all, cooperation need not be so far-fetched a notion.
It may even seem practical. Under the guidance of our former leader, Master Louis Soir, we once strove to unite the fractious city-states of Eorzea. I dare say that experience shall be of use in your endeavor.
We should be glad of your wisdom.
For the record, I would have been in favor of this plan even if it hadn't been my grandfather's, but I have to ask, how will we secure the time to carry it out? Not that anyone has forgotten, but the Garleans have airships. Lots and lots of airships. Should they catch wind of our plan, they could send an armada to overwhelm us before our alliance had even begun to take shape.
Not if we deny them access to the skies. During our time in the Burn, the Warrior of Light and I chanced upon some Allagan ruins.
Oh?
As such ruins go, they were not particularly unusual. But something about the surrounding land struck me as odd. Faint though it was, its ethereal residue was uncannily similar to that of Azizlar. Identical, in fact. For locations so far removed to share a single etheric signature is all but impossible. I conclude, therefore, that the Allegans created the floating continent with land taken from the burn.
While that is a most intriguing theory, I fail to see what relevance it has to Dorma's defense.
Az's Lair was enclosed in a powerful energy barrier, impenetrable even to an Agrius-class battleship. It occurred to me that those ruins may have enjoyed similar protection. I have no proof, but the Warrior of Light did report seeing a structure resembling other known Allegan field generators.
All right. But even if we could put up such an energy barrier, it surely wouldn't extend beyond the limits of the burn. So what's to stop the Garleans flying around it?
Fuel. The Dalmascan capital, Rabanasta, was a key imperial refueling point in the east. By laying waste to it as a lesson to the rest, the Empire greatly hindered its own operations in the region. If an imperial fleet were to advance upon Dorma, it would now have little choice but to travel, as the crow flies, over the burn.
I see.
A word of caution. Even assuming the generator still functions, raising a barrier of such a scale will require a prodigious amount of energy. And few places are so bereft of suitable crystals as the burn.
A source of energy. Tell me, did the Allegans make a habit of launching things into the sky?
A curious question. Besides Az's Lair, I know of only one other notable instance. The Red Moon Dalamud, whose fall triggered the calamity.
Just the two occasions, you say? Then I believe I may have a solution to our energy problem.
You do?
I may. To find out for sure, we would need to visit the Azim Step. Which would, I now see, present the perfect opportunity to discuss an alliance with the Zayla tribes. How very neat. What say you then? Shall we see whither this road leads?
All right. So we're going to try and set up a force field to prevent Allegan airships, or not Allegan, Garlean airships from entering Doman airspace. But we're going to need an energy source. All right, so let's go see what Hien's plan is here. All right, and to settle then, I will journey to the Azim Step with the Scions. Yugiri and Hakuro, I leave our other neighbors to you. There's Yugiri. My apologies, but I won't be joining you. I'm no etherologist, and what skills I do possess are unlikely to be of any great use to the mission, but more importantly, it seems to me that the ruins in the burn warrant attention. And so, while you are away securing an energy source, I will engage our friends at Garland Ironworks to undertake a complete overhaul of the field generators. We'll need them in good working order if our plan is to succeed. I trust there are no objections. Yeah, have care on the burn. Have care on the step. From what I hear, the Zayla like fighting with friends almost as much as foes. Good luck. At least it'll give her something to do. Alright, just the three of us then. Very well. Shall we make first for reunion? Alright, so let's head on over to reunion in the Azim Step. And I guess we'll be chatting with Yustola. This is her first time out here. Alright, so this is the Azim Step. The tales do not do it justice. If you think the view is impressive here, wait until we reach higher ground. Actually, seeing as it's your first visit, permit me to show you my favorite spot.
I will never tire of this vista. The endless fields, the boundless skies. 'Tis a sight to make a man forget his cares.
But not his purpose, I trust. Might this be a fitting moment to tell us what we are doing here?
Of course. During my time with the mole, I learned some few myths of this land. One goes thus. In the distant past, when all seemed doomed, a wayfaring soul came unto the steppe. Venturing into the northern crag, he received of Nama a sliver of her essence, a shard of the shining moon, and with it clove the tainted land from the earth. The end thus averted, to these fields did the wayfaring soul return, and venturing once more into the northern crag, he buried the shard, and made unto the heavens an offering of blood.
A tainted land cloven from the earth and an offering of blood to the heavens. Azizlar and Dalamud.
That was my thinking, yes.
And you believe that yonder mountains hide an artifact possessed of sufficient power to raise Azizlar up to the heavens? I suppose that might suffice.
Worth a closer look, would you say?
I would.
Alright, so yeah, any power source powerful enough to elevate Azizlar might be just what we're looking for. Okay, so where are we headed? From here we shall travel to Mol Ilo, where we may ask Cyrena about the particulars of the myth and raise the matter of an alliance with the rulers of the steppe. Right, because the Mol are the current leaders after the whole oh, I forget what they called it. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but the word eludes me. Alright, let's head on over here. The Naadam. Yes, the Naadam. There it is. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to Cyrena and see if they have any information that might lead us in the right direction. Hien, Ayame, I'm glad of your visit and the opportunity to welcome a new friend. How may we serve you? There's a matter I would discuss with them all. It concerns not only the peoples of the steppe, but of every land in the Far East. A shard of the shining moon left behind by a wayfaring soul, and you need this to protect our lands? I do. My friends and I wish to find the shard and ascertain the extent of its power. Will you tell me more of the place where it lies buried, this northern crag? If that is your wish, the mountains to the north, in the mountains to the north, there is a cavern called the House of the Crooked Coin. Inside this cavern are pillars of stone that legend holds to be the source of Nama's power. There, I believe, you will find what you seek. Ah, yes, I know the place. It's a brisk walk from here, and what are your thoughts on an alliance? Should the Empire return, our lands will be engulfed in a storm of conflict, whether we will it or no. If we do not stand together, we will fall apart. This I believe with all my heart. However, among the tribes at the steppe, there are those who revere Nama above all else. To them, the pillars are sacred and not to be disturbed. Should you proceed as you propose, such tribes are like to spurn an alliance, prompting others to follow their example. That is my concern. But it is by no means certain that the pillars will provide the power you seek. Ere you risk the ire of the followers of Nama, might you not first visit the House of the Crooked Coin? If all is as you hope, then we may then consider how best to earn their blessing. I thank you for your counsel. We will do as you suggest. I have no desire to give offense to those with whom I would join hands. Thank you for your understanding. Though the mole may reign over the steppe today, this decision will shape the days to come, and we would not force others into war against their will. Nor we. 100-fold stronger are they who choose to fight of their own accord. Alright, grab those silver pieces. Alright, let's talk to Y'shtola. Alright, Y'shtola's ready to put her skills to use. Okay. It seems the time has come to put my skills to use. Pray lead the way to the House of the Crooked Coin. Yen. Alright. So it is in the mountains to the north. And there we are. And that is an interesting collection of structures. They don't necessarily look elegant, though. Could be wrong, though. Let's see what Y'shtola has to say here.
Such an abundance of ether.
Are we in luck?
We are. This is an Allagan artifact, most likely built to regulate the flow of ether. I strongly suspect the ancients used it to stem the flow from here to the burn. That would explain how they were able to untether what became Azis La from its surroundings. But were we to throw open the floodgates, the resultant deluge would surely be sufficient to raise our wall. And in restoring the flow, we may also restore life to the wasteland.
What is it?
While the device itself harbors a surfeit of ether, the opposite is true of the surrounding area. An effect of regulation, perhaps. A similar phenomenon seemed to be occurring in Doma. Whatever the explanation, the answer will not reveal itself here. We have seen what we needed to see. Let us return to Mol Ilo.
Alright, so it is an elegant artifact. So back to Mol Ilo. And since this will serve our needs, and if this is the devices responsible for cutting off the flow of ether to the burn, then the whole story about the burn being created by a successive summoning of primals may not be correct. Oh, we'll see. Let's see what idea Cyrna has here for how to gain the trust and blessing of the other tribes who might object to our utilizing those ruins. Right, you found that which you seek then? Great indeed is the Dusk Mother's power. If not, less will suffice to protect our lands. The blessing of the other tribes must now be sought. Of course, but to which tribes should we appeal? There are many who worship Nama, but none so fervent in their faith as the Dotharl. Their consent shall be the key. The Dotharl. Lise spoke of them, a warlike tribe possessed of unique customs and beliefs. I sense their cooperation will not be easily won. Nay, but it will be well worth the effort. The Dotharl fear nothing, death least of all, and our alliance would be greatly strengthened by their presence. Let us go to Dotharl Ka and treat with their Khatun Sadu. Yes, remember Sadu. Most likely it's going to involve us fighting someone. Probably Sadu. Because that's just the way they are. But we are at the end of this episode, so we will go ahead and see what's going to happen there next time. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.